utter my pride. You ever get pushed so far you stop caring? This one's for the snakes, the liars, the ones who smile and stare. Go fuck yourself, I ain't bowing down. Try to break me, but I stand my ground. You took your shot, now take your loss. I pay my dues, I count my costs. Go fuck yourself, I'm done being played. I built my fire from the hill you made. No more chains, no more stealth. If you cross that line, go fuck yourself. I came from a road where the gravel cuts deep, where promises break and the wolves don't sleep. Had $1 in a dream and the chip on my chest. They said I'd never make it, yeah, I took that bet. Backstab, handshake, fake love grin. Seen too many devils dressed up as friends. Talk real loud, but they hollow inside. I read that script, yeah, I know that vibe. Mama said, boy, keep your head up high, even when the truth feels like a lie. So I kept on walking, boots worn thin, through the smoke, through the dirt, through the sand. You tried to bury me, I grew instead. Every no you gave put steel in my head. Now I'm standing tall where you hoped I'd fall. Middle finger up, yeah, that says it all. Fuck yourself, I ain't bowing down. Tried to break me, but I stand my ground. You took your shot, now take your loss. I pay my dues, I count my costs. Go fuck yourself, I'm done being played. I built my fire from the hill you made. No more chains, no more stealth. If you cross that line, go fuck yourself. They love you when you're down, keep you in the cage. But hey, when you rise and step on stage, suddenly they know you act like king. But I remember where you never been. You weren't there in the cold midnight when I lost my way, had to learn to fight. You weren't there when the world went dark, when I lit my soul with a single spark. I don't need your praise, don't need your lies. Seen too much truth in your disguise. You played both sides, but I played real. Every scar I got, yeah, that's my deal. This ain't revenge, it's clarity. Cutting off dead weight, setting me free. I ain't angry, I just moved on. Your chapter's closed, your page is gone. I gave too much to people who take it all. Watch loyalty fade like a late night call. Now I walk alone, but I walk with pride. No more fake love standing by my side. Yeah, it hurts, but it made me strong. Turn my pain into this outlaw song. Go fuck yourself, I ain't bowing down. Tried to break me, but I stand my ground. You took your shot, now take your loss. I pay my dues, I count my costs. Go fuck yourself, I'm done being played. I built my fire from the hell you made. No more chains, no more stealth. If you cross that line, go fuck yourself. I don't hold grudges, I just hold truth. You showed your colors, I show my proof. Every word you said, you fueled my grind. Now I'm 10 steps ahead, you still behind. I ain't bitter, just wide awake. Learn real fast, who's real or fake. Trust ain't cheap, it's earned in blood, not in shallow talk. A crocodile love, you built your world on a house of lies. Now it's falling down, no surprise. While I built mine from broken stone, now I sit king on the throne I own. This ain't hate, it's self-respect. Cutting ties, I won't regret. If you don't like me, that's just fine. I don't need you in my line. Some bridges, you don't burn them, you just stop crossing. Go fuck yourself! I found my way, oh, every night, through every day. You tried to chain me, hold me down. Now I wear freedom like a crown. Go fuck yourself, I'm done being small. I stood back up every time I'd fall. This is my life, my truth, my will. If you doubt that, go fuck yourself. Yeah, ride your road, I'll ride mine. No hard feelings, just hard lines. Outlaw heart, free as hell. And if you can't respect it, you already know. Go fuck yourself.
Remember who you are, white boy. Start a fire with some gas and a match, hanging out the window of a truck with a flag. Pissing off the world that's trying to tell you it's bad to be like you. Just remember who you are, white boy, raising hell just like your old man. Little slice of heaven somewhere out on a ranch. Pissing off the world that's trying to tell you it's bad to be like you. This is for my guys outside with a little bit of red on their necks, standing for the anthem with their hand on their chest. Rattlesnakes on some yellow flags hanging from their window panes. Buddy, you should watch where you step. Step, 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 get to stepping, y'all. Get gone, get gone. We just wanna work, go to church, have a good time till we in the dirt. Remember who you are, white boy. Start a fire with some gas and a match, hanging out the window of a truck with a flag. Pissing off the world that's trying to tell you it's bad to be like you. Just remember who you are, white boy, raising hell just like your old man. Little slice of heaven somewhere out on a ranch. Pissing off the world that's trying to tell you it's bad to be like you. This is for the guys who gon' fight to be free till the cops come around, who never let the flag that they wave touch the ground. Metal sign on a fence post, no trespassing allowed. And this is for the ones who don't run, reading Bibles, loading guns. They know what they gotta do and they know how to get it done. All the ones who learning lessons till the day they get to heaven. If you ain't one of us, then get to stepping. Stepping. Step, 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 get to stepping, y'all. Get gone, get gone. We just wanna work, go to church, have a good time till we in the dirt. Remember who you are, white boy. Start a fire with some gas and a match, hanging out the window of a truck with a flag. Pissing off the world that's trying to tell you it's bad to be like you. Just remember who you are, white boy, raising hell just like your old man. Little slice of heaven somewhere out on a ranch. Pissing off the world that's trying to tell you it's bad to be like you. Remember who you were, white boy, before they try to erase in your past, told you it's bad. Remember who you were, white boy, before they put your kids in a mask to sit in the class. Remember who you were, white boy, for the only lives that matter were black. You got attacked. Remember who you were, white boy. I'm telling you, you gotta go back and be more like that. Remember who you are, white boy. Start a fire with some gas and a match, hanging out the window of a truck with a flag. Pissing off the world that's trying to tell you it's bad to be like you. Just remember who you are, white boy, raising hell just like your old man. Little slice of heaven somewhere out on a ranch. Pissing off the world that's trying to tell you it's bad to be like you.
Sitting on my porch swing, waiting on that sunset to hear them coyotes sing. But in the meantime, it's the same routine. Sweet tea in my beat up jeans. Charlie Minus on the 6-string, picking a tune. Tracy Stone's doing his thing, skinning a coon. Dogs on the porch laid out by my feet, and everybody's head starts bobbing to the beat. Cars drive by looking looking at is kinda funny. Just some old porch honkies ain't got no money. Crops in the backyard, chickens in the front, slingshot shooting beer cans off that stump. And the black smoke coming from the smoker, dinner time's close. Yesterday's hide hanging right on the post. Kick back, rocking chair, yeah, we keep it funky. And that's the definition of an old porch honky.
Porch honky, I've been known to sit on my porch all day long. Porch honky in my swing, and I ain't worried about a thing. Porch honky, all I need's a big old glass of cold sweet tea. Porch honky, doing fine, living life one day at a time.
1, 2, 3.
One day at a time.
Hanging out, I ain't gotta do a damn thing but sit right here all day on my porch swing. Drink a few, take a chew, kick it with my homies. Might get drunk and start acting like a donkey. Moccasins and creek, feet bare like my pockets. Connor's on the porch and he's shooting bottle rockets. CB3's humming us a brand new song. He said, yeah, it won't be long until we wake up in the morning and we do it again. Yeah, we're front porch cooling, roof covered in tin. The sun is beating down on my cowboy hat. My voice is getting hoarse, my beer is never flat. I'm looking for my rifle, I found my 45. I raised it in the air, shot it high in the sky. Nobody asked why, they just looked and grinned. Yeah, them old porch honkies, man, they're at it again.
Porch honky, I've been known to sit on my porch all day long. Porch honky in my swing, and I ain't worried about a thing. Porch honky, all I need's a big old glass of cold sweet tea. Porch honky, doing fine, living life one day at a time. One day at a time. Porch honky, doing fine, living life one day at a time. One day at a time.
Good morning, internet friends. How we doing out there today in the internet lands? We've got another podcast patrol for you today. We're going to take a look at Wolf 2 Dog. He's another guy over in Rumble. Does some great stuff. I got his link in there. I'll be sure to go follow him. You know, because we need to all group together here, you know. So give him a follow. We're going to take a look at one of his podcasts. And do black fallers really matter? So let's get this thing going here. I'll see you. I'm pushed right fucking buttons today.
Stop and think about what I'm.
Niggers, get the rope. Let's start cleaning up our town. They're swinging from a rope. I don't mind them hanging around.
Enjoy the show.
Get the rope. This is long overdue. Niggers, get the rope. And that goes for she-buns too. Niggers, get the rope. We're gonna hang them high. So fuck off all you niggers. Just fuck off and die. Niggers, get the rope. We're gonna hang them Niggers get the rope. Let's start cleaning up our town. They're swinging from a rope. I don't mind them hanging around. Niggers get the rope. This is long overdue. Niggers get the rope. And that goes for she-buns too. Niggers get the rope. We're gonna hang them high. So fuck off all you niggers. Just fuck off and die. Niggers get the rope. We're gonna hang them high. So fuck off all you niggers. Just fuck off and die. Niggers get the rope, we're gonna hang them high. So fuck off all you niggers, just fuck off and die. Niggers get the rope, we're gonna hang them high. So fuck off all you niggers, just fuck off and die. Niggers get the rope, we're gonna hang them high. So fuck off all you niggers, just fuck off and die. Niggers get the rope, we're gonna hang them high. So fuck off all you niggers, just fuck off and die.
I want you to just hear this guy out. He starts out pretty much where I would, and then he fucking ramps it up. So, like I said, this is a black dude. I'm almost willing to say on the day of the rope, when we have our final cleansing here in the States, I'm willing to let this guy stand on the ground and have him control the rope from that end, because I love this fucking guy, right? If 50% of all the Nogs in our country were like this guy, I would be 50% less racist. Seriously, I really love this dude.
Damn afternoon, Americans. Jericho.
Also, what he's talking about, which I'm sure all of you know, is there was a two she-boons at Walmart tried to steal Pampers or diapers or whatever the fuck, and the cops were called and they got their lickety split because they were probably in the area, and the one she-boon held her neglet up in the window of the car, I guess for the cop to make target practice out of, and the cop ended up shooting into the vehicle and killing the kid, and then shot and wounded the she-boon that was trying to run him over. So what he's talking about is these two she-boons that took a 1-year-old onto their robbery spree and then tried to use the little neglet as a human shield, and the little kid gets killed, and now these fucking chimps are going mental. I think it's Memphis. Is it Memphis? I don't remember where it was, but some fucking boon-ridden hellhole. But that's what he's talking about. He's talking about the incident of this 1-year-old that was shot and killed in the Walmart parking lot.
Protecting you, they got to be posted up at a fucking Walmart or Home Depot because of niggas. So this nigga hood rat is in a Walmart stealing Pampers and shit. The cops are on the scene one way or another. She takes off, nearly hits an officer. They fire into the vehicle, not striking her stupid hood rat ass, her stupid sticky fingered thieving hood rat ass, illegitimate baby having hood rat ass. No, unfortunately, the round did not strike her. It struck her 1-year-old little boy. Now, assuming this evil bitch has a heart inside of her body and it's not shriveled up like the Grinch's heart, my heart goes out to her for losing her child, if she even cared. And that's up for debate, because just because a woman has a baby doesn't mean she loves the baby. What reason did she have that baby? To keep a man? To have something she can lord over a man? Something she can have to abuse, to upset the man? So just because a woman has a baby does not mean she fucking loves it, unfortunately. So assuming she loved the baby in some capacity, my heart goes out to her. My heart also goes out to the officer who fired that shot, because I guarantee you the last thing he wanted to do was, number one, shoot somebody unnecessarily, definitely not to shoot a fucking infant or a toddler, a little kid. And then my heart goes out to the officers and first responders and the tow truck driver who had to tow that vehicle away. But whoever had to go in that vehicle and look at that and deal with that scene and handle that poor little dead 1-year-old's body. And fuck you again, you sorry hood rat bitch, for putting your kid in a situation where it could be killed. You did that. Even though the officer actually pulled the trigger, he pulled it trying to stop your murderous ass because you almost killed one of them. So all of the blood that is inside that vehicle that was once inside your kid's body is now on your hands, you piece of shit. You did that. But of course. And I hate this, and I did a little video on it on Instagram. Check it out. It's called The Difference Between Black Folks and Niggas. And people haven't learned this yet because they're still saying that the black community is outraged. Yeah, we're outraged at the stupid fucking mom. We're not outraged at the police officer who unfortunately had to do that. Black folks are not outraged at the police officers. Niggas are. So I really want to see hashtag nigga outrage. I want to see nigga community because they're two separate. The nigga community is as separate from the black community as it is from the white community, Asian, Indian. You see where I'm going with this. Both Indians push start and pull start. What? Oh. Both kinds. We got both kinds, country and Western. What movie is that from? We are just as sick and tired and enraged by these niggas as you are. If you take away the difference in our skin color, there is no difference. So the black community is not upset. The black community has no backlash. As a matter of fact, I don't like community. I don't like that term, white, black, whatever. I don't like community because that's separatist language. That's breaking us up. Black folks aren't upset at the cops. Niggas are. Niggas are out in the street. Niggas are making signs. Nigga, how that cop? Niggas are out there when they're supposed to be at work. Oops. They don't have a job. That's why they're out there in the middle of the fucking day. And you always see more nigga females than males. Why? Because all the males were either aborted, shot, or in prison. And the Ku Klux Klan is like, some bitch, why don't we think of that? We're over here fucking lynching them. Hell, we only got 4,000. These niggas over here killing 7,000 to 10,000 a year. The Klan is jealous. But the nigga males have been aborted, shot, or in prison. So that's why there's always mostly females. I would say it's 90-10. No more than 80-20. Nigga females to nigga males when you look in these crowds at these fucking bullshit outrage fests. Now, when another nigga kills one of these kids, when another nigga shoots a 6-year-old girl 6 times in her torso in a McDonald's drive-thru, where you at, niggas? Is there a nigga whistle we can blow? Is there a nigga horn? Do you have to get on the highest cliff and blow the nigga horn for the niggas to come and be outraged and have a protest about some real shit? You guys, I got nigga fatigue. I got it. Stage 4. Now I scroll past 90% of the nigga clips that I see. I'm tired of it. Every time I look at some nigglets out here, young teens, shut the fuck up. Those are nigglets. That's who's doing that. Nigga teens are out there. I'm so sick of it. I'm sick of the nigga takeovers. I'm sick of the niggas fighting over barbecue sauce. I'm sick of the niggas shooting each other. I just saw a video the other day. A dad goes out there to defend. These boys were bullying his daughter. He goes out there to confront them, and one of the niggas pulls out a gun and shoots him. Fortunately, the father didn't die. I wish the father would have gone out there with his gun drawn and shot that nigga instead. There's no cure for niggerdom. There's no cure for niggeritis. There's no cure for the nigger cancer. There's no chemo. There's no medicine. There's only one thing that can stop future niggas. If they're already a nigga, it's too late. If they're already out in public with a bonnet and pajama bottoms and slides, it's too late. They got on a shiesty and dreads and fucking tight jeans where they're so tight you can see whether they're circumcised or not. Too late. What did James Brown say in the church scene in Blues Brothers? It's too late. The jingle jangle of 1,000 lost souls. Too late. The nigga cancer has metastasized. It's taken over your entire body. It's too late. There's only one thing that can stop future niggas from being born, from being made. Fathers. If you don't put fathers in the home, nothing's going to fix niggas. It will be a never-ending cycle. It will be a never-closing 24-hour, 365 nigga factory spitting these niggas out. If somebody got a nigga count going, how many times did I say that? And I only say that word to describe a certain group of people. I do not use it in normal conversation. That's how my parents were. When my parents said that word, we paid attention because it was rare. And we knew who they were talking about. And I got niggas in my family. One of my nigger relatives from East Oakland came down to visit one time, and he had been shot. He still had bandages on. He's sitting down on the couch because this nigga got shot. So if you don't put fathers in the home, you can have all the welfare programs, you can have all the youth centers, you can have all this and have all that, and it's going to do absolutely nothing because all it is a fucking money laundering scheme anyway. How many trillions have they spent on poverty and the hood? And guess what? It's stronger than ever. Niggas have never been worse. But they're all upset because this poor baby got shot by a cop. What happens when he gets shot by one of you crickets? You sorry ass niggas. I hate every single one of you. I hate you. I feel the way about niggas that I feel about pit bulls. You should be banned and removed from the country. Yeah, I said it. I fucking hate pit bulls. They're fucking demons. Oh, I have pit bulls and it licks my face. Yeah, until it doesn't want to and it rips your face off. Shut up. Niggas and pit bulls are the same. But they're all mad that this 1-year-old got killed by a cop. That same 1-year-old can be shot by a shiesty-wearing nigga next week and you won't hear a peep. You'll be listening. Was that? Nope, not a peep. What is that? What is it? Somebody explain to me how a group of people can be outraged by the same act, but if it's committed by their own people, they don't care. It's just as bad. A dead child is a dead child, and that is horrible. Life can give you nothing worse.
Right. I really, really, really like this cat. I mean, he even makes a fucking Blues Brothers movie reference. I've never seen a black dude in my life do that. We got both kinds. Fucking nigger fatigue. I've got nigger fatigue. I'm suffering stage 4. This guy, he is fucking funny, right? Can you guys see his name? His name's Jericho Green. He's on YouTube. I hope you guys can see that. If you guys want to check him out, I'm using this. Obviously, I'm posting his content. I want to use it as, if I can, a springboard at all to help this guy out. But so far, right? I mean, I think the guy is fucking spot on. And it's funny because if I said what he's saying using the exact same language, people would say that I'm a disgusting racist. But he hasn't said anything that I think is fucking disagreeable at all. But he mentioned about black fathers, right? And this is kind of leading up to the to where I'm going with all of this. So,
But that same dead child killed in the same barbaric, fucked up way, if it's done by a white person or a cop, no matter the color, cop, you might as well be white. And if you're black and you're a cop, you want to be white, right? That's more of the stupid nigga bullshit you hear. But if that same disgusting, vile act is carried out by a white person, it's the end of the world. You saw how the niggas were outside of the courthouse. Carmelo Anthony's guilty as sin. He stuck that boy for nothing. And you niggas are out there.
good evening, Baron. What's going on, man? What's going on? Right, if Patrick Joseph Buchanan, I didn't see you sneak in here. Evening, everybody.
Just a tap dancing, yowza boss, mammy, mammy. You sorry ass niggas. And every black person watching this is going, yep, preach, Jericho, preach. I guarantee you they're nodding their head with everything I'm saying, unless they own a pit bull. They know it. They feel the same way I do. I'm so sick and tired of trying to distance myself from niggas. And nobody's saying a fucking thing about the sorry bonnet-wearing bitch who put her son in the line of fire, who took her kid to go stealing. Bitch, they ought to tie you to a post and beat the fucking meat off your bones. You put your baby in the line of fire, and then they got some shyster ass nigga attorney and the nigga attorneys, the Ben Crumps of the world, that uneducated, retarded sounding black dude who was helping the Carmelo Anthony family in the beginning, who like shook a kid or beat a child or some shit. These niggas are the worst. They're worse than the most racist white man that they think is in charge of this country. Whatever racist white man they think is pulling the strings, these nigga vultures are the worst because they're scouring the plains for you. My baby got shot. There he is. And they dive bomb on your ass. So she got one of these shyster nigga lawyers, and I think she's the sister or the friend who was with the girl. Guys, they're sitting in a car. They're doing an interview that they're going to put out to the local news and the rest of the planet.
Okay, just so you know what he's getting ready to say here. If you guys haven't seen this, you really should. Just look up 1-year-old child gets shot in front of Walmart by cops. Whatever. Like I said, I think it's in Memphis. I don't know if I'm right about that or not. But the next day, this is so bizarre. I was actually going to put this in the stream, but I just said fuck it. The next day, they are talking to this Sheboon, the one that held her kid up to have the cop make target practice out of. And the next day, she's in the fucking car with a trash bag on her head with some kind of shyster fucking groid lawyer telling her version of the story. And she's not crying. Now, I've said this before in different streams. I think I said it on some of my older content. Tommy Sotomayor, the black dude, he's on YouTube. You can look him up if you don't know who he is. He kind of reminds me of this guy a little bit. Tommy Sotomayor, years ago, put a compilation video together of black women whose children had been shot and killed. And it was this compilation of mothers, sisters, like everybody, all the family members that were involved with these black men that had been shot and killed. Not one of them was shedding a tear. Now, they were going through the motions of crying. Oh, Lord, boo-hoo, boo-hoo, oh, Lord. He was a good boy. He finna didn't do nothing. It's just them. They're mimicking human behavior. That's what they're doing. They're not producing tears. So the thing is, when he's getting ready to talk about this Shibun who's sitting in the front seat of a fucking car, the day after her son had been shot and killed because she tried to use him as a human shield in the vehicle that was trying to run him over as they were fleeing a crime scene by the cops were trying to stop them because they were under suspicion of robbery. Right? All of this could have been avoided. I mean, 100% of all these videos that we see with these stupid, fucking low IQ, low impulse, savage, primitive piece of shit fucking groids is that if they were to just say, hey, look, I got stopped, I got busted, I'm caught, I'm just going to turn the vehicle off, I'm going to put my hands up, I'm going to comply to whatever the officer tells me to do, right? Everything would be fine. But they're incapable of doing that. And why is it always everybody else's fault? Because they don't know how to adapt to society. They do not, and they will not ever adapt to our society. So I'm setting this up because he's getting ready to talk about the interview that this Shibun did in the front seat of this car with this fucking shisty lawyer that, even though he's a groid himself, but that's what he's going to talk about.
And she's sitting there wearing a motherfucking bonnet. Bonnet should have one of those things on it that the shopping carts do, so if you try to leave the parking lot, the wheel locks up. Or those tags they put on clothes so niggas can't steal them from Target. Leave the tag on the bonnet, and if you try to leave your house with a bonnet on, an alarm sounds. My daughter is 14 years old, and she knows not to go anywhere wearing a fucking bonnet. My daughter won't go anywhere.
Hey, Joseph Menard. Good evening. I didn't see you sneak in here, man. Tommy Sotomayor. Fuck you and your rabbi. Yeah, that was a great video that he put out. I was actually kind of shocked when he did that because he was one of these first blacks that kind of figured out what's going on with the fucking Jays. So yeah, I was. He said some shit over the years that I don't like, but what would I expect? We're not the same. But his takes on the black community, just like this guy, I think are really good.
Unless her hair is done. And wearing a bonnet doesn't mean your hair is done. That just means it's a fucking gross mess underneath there. The same way with pajama bottoms. If you wear pajama bottoms, your genitals fucking stink. If you wear pajama bottoms in public, your house fucking stinks. You probably have pit bulls and piss inside of your nasty fucking Section 8 house. If you wear...
Okay. So I obviously I like this guy. That's why I chose to sort of set this whole thing up. Now, here's the one thing about all these black guys that I give them all the credit for based on their observations, especially about their community. As much as I want to like them, Andre Williams, I don't know if you guys saw the stream I did, I don't know, a week ago, whatever. But the one thing I find about these black dudes, hello, come on in. Yeah, why? Who needs them?
Are they all one flavor?
What?
Are they all one flavor?
Yes.
What flavor?
Mint. Do you realize I have millions of people listening to me right now? Millions. You just interrupted my show. Come on, get out of here. I'm sorry about that. I got interrupted. What the fuck was I talking about? Yeah, so the one thing about like a lot of these black dudes, and I do like them, right? They're a cut above. They have a higher IQ. They're able to see what's happening inside of their community and call it out for what it is. Fine. The problem is they always make this reference to fathers in the home. Now, apparently this black dude had a father in the home because he even mentioned it about my mother and father. Andre Williams always says the same thing, although Andre Williams himself admits that his father was killed. He was pretty much raised by his grandfather, who was like an educated black dude. Anyway, so the reason why I brought this whole thing in is because I'm choosing to use this as a lead in, and you'll see where I'm going with this in a minute. Because I'm only going to play. I'm only going to play. I don't know. I'll figure out how much of this I want to play, because it's only the first half of this. It's like 9 minutes of him talking about this. So we'll see what happens.
Of course, there are similar scenes playing out all over the country, but even when you take into account all these factors, the propaganda, partisan politics, etc., it's still hard to come to terms with what's happening right now in Jackson, Mississippi. Politicians and black activists in Jackson have just made it clear that they have no understanding of causation whatsoever. This basic concept completely eludes them. It's not simply that they're blinded by politics. Instead, it appears that, like infants, these activists do not comprehend that certain actions naturally lead to certain results. And it's worth exploring what's happening in Jackson in some detail because it has implications for the whole country, including the presidential race. So here's the background. There's a Texaco gas station in Jackson that's located on a street called Medgar Evers Boulevard. And recently there's been a lot of crime near the gas station, including several homicides and shootings this year. In response to this crisis, the solution that politicians and activists have come up with is not to blame the criminals. It's not to hire more police officers, increase patrols. Instead, their response has been to blame the Texaco gas station. And now these politicians, including a councilman named Kenneth Stokes, are calling for the gas station to be shut down. In fact, Stokes has said he'll bring a vote of no confidence against the city's law department for refusing to have the gas station declared a public nuisance, because the gas station is what's responsible for all the crime happening around the gas station. Watch.
Jackson Councilman Kenneth Stokes continues to press the case for a crackdown on a
And niggas
West
Kid and
Jackson
Play.
gas station.
Kid and
Any
Play.
other
Yo, it's
city
Kid and Play.
in this state and country where you have a nuisance will be in court filing legal paperwork to shut these kind of places down. If you're providing a business that you see is detrimental to the community that you're serving, and that your business is causing people to lose their lives, then you should have the integrity of a human being for yourself to say, we need to shut this down.
So just to reiterate there, what we just heard at the end of that clip, if you're providing a business that you see as detrimental to the community and that your business is causing people to lose their lives, then you should have the integrity of a human being to say, you need to shut this down. In other words, the Texaco gas station is causing people to shoot each other. The gas station, a collection of snacks and pumps distributing gasoline, is causing people to lose their lives.
Okay. These are prehistoric beings that evolved isolated on the continent of Africa for 300,000 years. That never, not once, ever, 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 going back 300,000 years, not once, singled out their mate on the grounds of intelligence. Not once. It never happened. Never. It never once happened. You can't take these people from a prehistoric land and then drag them into a modern world, put a hat on them, put a shirt on them, give them a sail foam, and expect them to process thought the way that we do. They are not going to be able to do it. They never have. And you might want to sit down as I tell you this, but they are never, ever going to. You cannot circumvent 100,000 years of evolution by putting someone on a wooden fucking boat and sailing them across the Atlantic and then making them fuck as farm equipment. And again, even when they were fucking in all of those years, they were never, ever selecting for intelligence. It was always for physical traits. So now here we are, 400 years later, where we are looking at the byproduct of dysgenic breeding. And when they are saying that, oh, it is the gas station that needs to be shut down because Negroes are disproportionately killing each other all day and all night on those premises. This is what is called the superstitious native. They see a rock and suddenly people are getting killed around the rock. It's the rock's fault. It is not the people that are killing each other. It is no different than they were 100,000 years ago. And the sad part is, they are going to be no different in 100,000 years from now. If we make it that long, with them being the fucking anchors to our society.
Therefore, the local councilman is holding rallies to get this place shut down. Now, when I first saw this story, I had to check if there was, maybe something I'm missing. Because I figured that this can't be the full story. Is the Texaco gas station executing its customers when they walk inside? I mean, is that why we're blaming the gas station for what's happening? Do they have guards posted at the door who shoot you in the head as soon as you enter the place? If so, I'll say I totally agree that they need to shut the place down. I mean, I am completely against that business practice, the practice of killing your customer. I mean, if I went to the gas station and it tried to murder me, I'd be frankly pretty upset. That's fodder for like a bad Yelp review, no doubt. I mean, no more than 2 stars on that one. But after looking into it, I can conclusively say that these are crimes being committed by community members at and also against the gas station. So the real problem in Jackson, Mississippi is that so many people in the community are violent criminals, which means that if you get rid of the gas station, by the way, those violent criminals are still going to be there. They're still going to be violent and they're still going to be criminals. But the rush to avoid blame and accountability is so extreme that now they are robbing businesses and then turning around to the businesses and blaming the businesses for being robbed. And we've seen this kind of thing a few other times.
Okay, this is exactly why, if you remember anything that happened with apartheid in South Africa, the South Africans were trying to tell the world, when the world was coming down on them in a very negative way about their practice of apartheid, the South Africans were saying, listen, we've lived around these savages for, at that point, it was about 400 years. Because I think the Boer were there in the 1600s. They do not have even the most fundamental understanding of how to run a society. They're like children. And even though the world, is what they're saying, might think that we are unfair to them and that we don't give them equality and we don't put them in positions of governance, you think we do it because we're these disgusting racists. We're doing it because the only way that society functions is by having somebody with the very least of a 100 IQ doing it, right? And the fact that they ended up removing apartheid, and I'm sure any of you that have seen the videos of South Africa now, they are moving back to the Stone Age. I mean, rape is out of control. Homicide is out of control. They steal every fucking thing that when they try to build anything with infrastructure or to better the technology that they have there, the savages come in and just steal it all. So again, this is what it is. They are superstitious natives. They're looking at the stone monument and they're seeing all the blood around it and they're blaming the stone monument. They're not blaming their brethren for being so savage and uncivilized and primitive is really what it is. But anyway, it's just when he's saying this, it just makes me think of that.
The businesses for being robbed. And we've seen this kind of thing a few other times. And for example, the politicians in Minnesota and other major cities who have blamed car manufacturers for making their cars too easy to steal. And that's really bad, but this is a whole other level of delusion that we're seeing now in Jackson. Now, when I see a situation like this, I can't help but compare the situation in Jackson to what I've experienced in my own life. So before we moved to Nashville 4 years ago, we lived in a small blue-collar town in Pennsylvania. We had a local gas station that doubled as the town's supermarket. And people used to go to the gas station. They would park their cars outside, leave the keys in the car with the car running and the doors unlocked and the windows down. And they would just go shop and they'd stroll back out 50 minutes later with a bag of groceries and a coffee and their car would still be there. So how is it that a gas station in one town is so safe that you can leave your keys in an unlocked car while in another town you can't fill up your tank without getting shot? And it's not just about gas stations, obviously. The violent crime rate all across Jackson, not just at the gas station, is extremely high. Jackson is more dangerous than 97% of all cities in America. It is a It is among the least safe places you can live. I mean, there are cities in third world countries safer than Jackson. 97% of all cities in America. It is among the least safe places you can live.
Hold on, I was looking at Dave the Forester's comment. I'm going to replay this.
Not just at the gas station, is extremely high. Jackson is more dangerous than 97% of all cities in America. It is among the least safe places you can live. I mean, there are cities in third world countries safer than Jackson, a lot safer. By comparison, and for the record, in the town where I lived, the violent crime rate was less than half of the national average. Property crimes were about a third of the national average. So it was very safe. So again, the question, why is one so safe and the other?
What did Barron do? The fuck did Barron do that? Oh, yeah. How did you do that, Barron? How the fuck did you do that? Yeah, I see. Oh, yeah. Look at you showing off now with your upside down nigger. I never thought those words, whatever. All right, come on, quit fucking around. We gotta get back to what he's getting ready to say here, because this is the whole setup of the premise of this video.
The same thing, but you're not supposed to say it. But I will say it. The population of Jackson is 80% black. By the way, where I used to live, it was 2% black. Now, you might know nothing about Jackson at all, but just based on the crime stats, you already made assumptions about the racial demographics, and your assumptions were right. Okay, you heard that it's a place where violent crime is overwhelming. You make an assumption that it must be a heavily black community. And you're right. Indeed, if you look at any town in America and see that it has a predominantly black population, you can assume that the crime rate is probably pretty high, and you will almost always be correct. And we all know that. We all know it. But we're not supposed to say it. This is one of the many things that every single person watching, including the people that are going to clip this and put it on Twitter and say, oh, Matt Walsh is racist. All of them know that it's true also. But you're not supposed to say it. So it's one of the many truths in America that we've all just agreed to not say out loud, which is very unfortunate because it prevents us from asking the next question. Once we've admitted what we know is true, predominantly black community, probably going to have high crime. The next question is, why is that the case? Why is crime so prevalent in black communities? Now, there isn't one single answer to that question, but there is one major, overwhelmingly significant answer that we must begin with. The fatherless rate in the black population in Jackson, just as in cities all across the country, is over 80%. Now, you've heard stats like that before, especially on this show, but you hear it so often that it might not really sink in. Because you hear 80% fatherless, oh yeah, we've heard that, but really think about that. I mean, really think about it. Over 80%. I mean, we are rapidly approaching a point where married parents and intact families simply just don't exist in Jackson or cities like it at all. In fact, the fatherless problem is so pervasive in Jackson and other cities in that state that the out-of-wedlock birth rate in all of Mississippi is now over 50%. In the entire state, a child of Mississippi is more likely to be born to an unmarried mother than to a married one. Now, it is not possible to have a functioning society with statistics like that. There has never been in the history of the world a functioning society with statistics like that, ever. It's impossible. It is a guaranteed recipe for crime, violence, dysfunction, and chaos. Every time.
Because again, all of these neocons, they're all convinced that if you could just get fathers in the home, then you would extremely reduce, if not just merely mitigate, the fact that you have these young African-American males disproportionately entering the criminal justice system. Right. So the whole, and that's why I'm saying the black guy before, he was saying the same thing. I have seen. How the fuck did you print that? How did you get that, Barron? What is that? Some kind of line through it or something where the AI doesn't recognize it? Look at you. You fucking. Did you ever know that you're my hero? You typed in nigger to the chat. Barron, you are all of our hero. How in the fuck did you do that? All right, man. Look at you fucking. All right, brother. That was great, man. Thanks. I bet you're good at 10-pin bowling.
It's impossible. It is a guaranteed recipe for crime, violence, dysfunction, and chaos. Every time. So there is no solution to the problems facing Black people that doesn't begin with addressing this issue. It is not.
Okay, again, right? I'm going to repeat what he just said because when I end, he's going to be done here in a minute, and then I'm going to go off on my thing. So again, right? He's saying that there has been no society where children are born out of wedlock, and then he's following through. I'm going to wind it. Just repeat this part.
For crime, violence, dysfunction, and chaos. Every time. So there is no solution to the problems facing Black people that doesn't begin with addressing this issue. It is not possible to have a productive and worthwhile conversation about the plight of the Black community in this country if that conversation does not revolve around the fact that the Black community, generally speaking, has given up on the nuclear family. Given up on it. To the extent that, again, in a lot of these communities, the nuclear family basically does not exist anymore. Now, politicians like the one currently running for president on the Democratic ticket will never talk about this.
Okay. I think that's enough of Matt Walsh because, like I said, I wanted to set my argument up here by showing you the black dude, Jericho Green, I think his name was. I showed you the guy's name on YouTube. Cool black dude. Brought up the thing about having a father in the home. Then I found Matt Walsh. Matt Walsh is now saying that, as far as he's concerned, that the black community is always going to have these problems because the black community has this, in this particular city that he's talking about, it's 80% of children are born out of wedlock or live in fatherless homes. So he's saying that he's obviously making a correlation, right? He's claiming that the reason why the crime rate is so high is because of this reason, because they're born in homes where there's no fathers. All right. I'm a broken record with this shit if you guys have been following me or listening to my stuff or watching my older content. I'm just going to run through it real quick. Africans evolved for 300,000 years. They never had the concept of father. There was never even a word for father. In the village setting that they lived in for 300,000 years, they would all fuck each other. All the women would have children, and nobody knew who the biological father who sired any of the children were. Therefore, they had what was called communal living or communal rearing, meaning that it was the entire community that raises children. And therefore, because they have an RK reproductive strategy, it's all about fucking, shitting out kids, and trying to reproduce as much as you can because it's the survival tactic in an environment that is very unforgiving and unpredictable, right? Like the sub-Saharan or whatever that we're talking about. So again, I'm a broken record with this shit, but what I'm trying to tell you is that you can't take a fucking organism that is adapted to an environment for 300,000 years and then move that organism to a different location and expect a different behavioral trait. You can't take a bonsai tree off the side of a fucking mountain in Japan and then put it into a garden in Cleveland and then have it turn into a fucking rose bush. It does not happen. It cannot fucking happen. Right? You're not going to take a beaver from a fucking river and then bring it up to the top of the Empire State Building and not expect it to look for wood, because that's what fucking beavers do. It has been ingrained in them for hundreds of thousands, possibly millions of years. So the reason why I'm bringing this up is because I am of the ultimate belief, based on the research I've done. You have blacks that have been taken from Africa. They were turned into slaves. They were slaves for essentially 245 years in the United States. They were the product of dysgenic breeding, and now they've allowed them to be considered to be humans, which I don't know who the fuck would do that. But for 60 years now, they have been free to do what it is they will do, meaning that this is called genetic preference. So the example I used to use on my other videos was that if you take a fish that is used to extremely cold water and you take a fish that is used to extremely warm water and you put both of them in an aquarium together. Okay, well, what's the water going to be? Because if the water is warm, one fish is going to be very uncomfortable. And if the water is extremely cold, then the other fish is going to be extremely uncomfortable. So what I'm saying is you have two organisms that adapted to its environment over the course of an extremely long period of time, not just years, but generations. So if we're talking about 10,000 years, depending on the organism, you might be talking about 100,000 generations. So before I go any further, I just want to nail that down, that the whole thing of what these neocons and these black dudes are saying, that if you just have a father in the home, then it's going to make the black community stronger, better, and just fucking say it. They're going to be more like white people. I'm saying it's never going to happen. The reason why it's never going to happen is because it has never fucking happened. For 300,000 years, they didn't do it. They were not fathers. The concept of father didn't exist. There was never a word for father. They were not fathers. And this is just how they survived for all of that fucking time before we went in and extracted them off the continent. And now that they've been able to live their lives accordingly, the way that they wish, they are living exactly like the fucking primitive savages lived for 300,000 fucking years. Now, the ones that decided they are going to get married and they are going to have children, they're going to stay intact and they're going to raise them as a nuclear family, those are what we call outliers. So these are black people that probably are a little more intelligent, they're a little more socially conscious, they're probably more civic minded, and they want to mimic how white people and pretty much Asians, right? Because there's only three types of people in the world. There's a Negroid, there's a Mongoloid, and there's a Caucasoid. So when the Negroid in America wants to emulate the Caucasoid, it's saying that what we do is we stay together as an intact family and we raise them in a nuclear setting. Okay. But now, ever since the 60s, where we've allowed them to have these options, what are they doing? Well, since the 60s, the out of wedlock birth rate has just, I mean, exponentially every single fucking year. It gets worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. The fact that it's only at 77% is really a fucking miracle. It sounds like I'm saying that to fuck with niggers, but I'm being completely honest about this. The fact that it's been 60 years and they're still teetering on this 77% mark is a miracle. It should be 100% of all children out of wedlock. Seriously. Because why wouldn't it be? It is in their genetic nature. It's a fucking pre-wiring down to their DNA to not be fathers to their children, because for 300,000 years they weren't fathers. So now that I've said all of that, this is what I'm going to lead up to on the next bit of data that I'm going to show you. Because remember, the whole thing is about, everyone is claiming that if you could just get black men to be fathers in the home, it will, if not reduce or remove the probability of their young black children being introduced into the criminal justice system. Right. So this is why I'm saying it, right? Pause for a second here. Joseph Menard says, those outliers are also known as the talented 10th, 1/10 of their population, if that. Yeah, I completely agree with, especially when you say if that. I agree with that 100%, Joseph Menard. Ghost Dog Man says, I hate when Matt lies, aka misses the ball. He fucked over the McMichaels and probably fucked over James Fields. He needs to respect the voice power he has on the right. Yeah, and this is when I say, when I say he's a neocon, I mean that in an insulting way. I'm not saying that as a positive. I don't know if he ever talks about his allegiance to Israel or Jews, but I can only assume he's hook, line, and sinker with all the rest of them. Remember who? Yep, exactly. Well, Joseph Bernard just made the point that I was saying about his boss being Ben Shapiro. Jules says he probably has soy milk in his coffee. Yeah, I mean, he's not the most masculine motherfucker, but yeah. Ghost Dog Man says, yes, but Matt seems to have stood independent more and more lately. Yeah, I do agree with you, Ghost Dog Man, that he has kind of he stood his ground on some of the things where I think his overlords probably didn't really want him to. Who knows, right? It could be all fucking theater. It could be them coming out saying that they would choose that he didn't speak that way, but all to garner views. Who the fuck knows? I mean, I'm so cynical now. I don't know what to fucking believe. Joseph Menard says he goes only as far as his Jew paymaster permits him to. Expect anything based is futile. Yeah, I agree with you to some point, Joseph. He's based in the sense that he's at least taking fucking normies just slightly beyond that threshold, and I think that's a good thing. So I'm going to get to this whole point of what I made the premise of this whole fucking stream was. So we got that out of the way, where they're claiming that the father's in the house or whatever. Okay, so here's. Oh fuck! I don't know why it did that. Why is it doing that? God damn it! So here's what I typed into Google. What was the out-of-wedlock childbirth for the African American community from 1940 to 1960? That's what I typed into Google. Can you guys see this? Hold on a minute. Let me see if I can get this. Can you guys see that? Should I blow that up at all, or is that cool? Can you guys see that? So between 1940 and 1960, the out-of-wedlock birth rate for the Black community historically tracked in vital statistics as the non-white population rose steadily, but remained a distinct minority of births. 1940, approximately 16.8. Now, I'm going to pause here for a second. The reason why I don't take that as being accurate is because what the AI is doing is it's making an accumulation of whatever the data is. Now, in 1940, I highly doubt that the census were keeping track of Black children that were being born. So when it's saying 1940, approximately 16.8 to 19%, I suspect it was higher. Okay. Of non-white children were born outside of marriage. In 1950, the percentage rose roughly to 21.8%. By 1960, the out-of-wedlock birth reached approximately 23%. Now, if all of you are familiar with the, what was his name? God damn, I'm drawing a fucking blank now. Moynihan, right? Senator Patrick Moynihan, about the whole thing about him. I think it's called the Negro crisis or the Negro situation or the Negro problem, something like that. Well, he was already doing an analysis of the out-of-wedlock births for the Black population even then, so much that it motivated him to write an entire essay to provide to the government. So obviously, depending on what state we're talking about, but if we're just looking at the United States collectively, we're just going to take this for what it's worth. While there was a clear upward trend during the 2-decade span, the vast majority, over 3/4 of Black children, were born to married parents. The massive surge in non-marital birth percentages did not occur until the late 1960s and the 1970s. Demographic analysis, including the Negro American family, there it is. Demographic analysis, including the Negro American family, the 1965 Daniel Patrick Moynihan report, traces the roots of these historical figures. For more details on the exact methodology and historical context of these rates, you can explore the CDC report on the out-of-wedlock childbirth. I've done other videos on this, but I'm addressing something different with this whole thing that I'm going down here. Okay, so that was that. Now let's see the next question I asked. So is it true African Americans had more intact families with a mother and a father in the household from 1940 to 1960? Okay. Again, I'm setting this up to where I'm trying to get to a conclusion here. I'm trying to make a point. Yes, it is true. The U.S. Census data from 1940 to 1960 shows that married two-parent homes were the most widespread and normative family structures for African Americans. Read that again, because this is the important part of what I want to focus on. Yes, it is true. U.S. Census data from 1940 to 1960 shows that married, two-parent homes were the most widespread and normative is the word family structure for African Americans. Statistical overview. In 1960, the large majority of black children, around 2/3, lived in a two-parent household. Non-marital birth rates were roughly 15% to 22%. I don't even think that's remotely fucking close to what the reality was. But again, I'll be charitable and say that this is true in the sense that it being as empirical as it could by the data given. Okay. Historical context. While two-parent homes were the standard, African Americans consistently had higher rates of single-parent and fatherless households compared to white Americans. Historical and demographic archives show that the early as 1940 black children were statistically 2 to 3 times more likely to live without one or both parents in the household. Okay. Now on to the next question. Let's see if I can get this fucking right so I can read my own question that I created earlier so I don't sound like a fucking idiot. In 2025, how many times disproportionately represented are African Americans in the crime of homicide? Okay. So we just went through those two questions, and now I've asked this question. In 2025, what are we talking about? Right? How many times disproportionately were blacks represented in the crime of homicide? It says, in 2025, black Americans were disproportionately represented in homicide data, experiencing homicide victimization rates roughly 6 to 7 times higher than white Americans because homicides are overwhelmingly intraracial. These disparities correspond to similar disproportionate rates of offending, primarily driven by longstanding factors like concentrated urban poverty, yada, 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 yada. It's going to be, right, social economics, the whole fucking thing. If we played a drinking game, we'd all have fucking cirrhosis by the time they explained the causes for this. Because complete, final, detailed demographic tabulations for 2025 are still being finalized, exact multiplier figures are drawn from the most recent confirmed trend data. So I'm. This is kind of interesting. I wasn't going to read this, but I'm going to read some of this just because it's interesting. Disproportionate representation. I want to read this one. I don't give a shit about the victimization rate. It's the offender rate that I'm worried about. Offending rates. Arrest data trends indicate that black individuals are typically arrested for homicide at the rate of about 6 to 7 times higher than white individuals. Okay? So, we all know that it's blacks that primarily kill each other, but blacks are also killing whites at twice the amount that whites are killing blacks. The whole point of what I'm saying is that blacks, by every metric that you want to fucking use, provided by government data, it's inarguable, right? That what we're looking at is it's these young black males. So the next question I ask is, in 1955, how many times disproportionately represented were African Americans in the crime of homicide? In 1955, how many times disproportionately represented were African Americans in the crime of homicide? 1955 was 70 years ago. In 1955, African Americans classified in federal data at the time of non-white population made up roughly 10% to 11% of the U.S. population, but accounted, ready? everybody fucking buckle up, but accounted for over 50% of homicide arrests and victimization cases. Do I need to go over that? 1955, they represented 10% of the United States population, but representative over 50% of homicide arrests and victimization cases. This resulted in a homicide commission and victimization rate that was approximately 7 to 10 times higher than that of white Americans. I don't know if some of you can see where I'm going with this already. In 1955, 7 to 10 times higher than that of white Americans. Okay. Demographics versus arrests. According to the FBI, Demographic and arrests. According to FBI city records from the era, while black Americans represented just 10 to 15% in many large cities, they accounted for the vast majority, between 48 and 60% of arrests for violent crimes such as homicide. National statistics. According to the CDC Vital and Health Statistics, the non white population, of which were more than 90% African American blacks, counted for more than half of all homicides in the United States during half of all homicides in the United States during the 1950s. Okay. Now let's go back to this, because I just loves me looking at some time reports now by the government and shit like that. In 1945, can you guys see this? Oh, fuck. Sorry, man. I didn't realize you can't see the fucking question I'm asking. I have the question here in real time on Google so you can see what I'm asking. In how many, in 1945, how many times disproportionately represented were African Americans in the crime of homicide? You ready? And you want to do the math? This is 80 fucking years ago. 80 years ago. In 1945, African Americans, classified largely as non white in historical mortality and vital statistics, were disproportionately represented in homicide, victimization, and offending at rates typically estimated to be 10 to 12 times higher than those of white Americans. Okay. So, the argument people have tried to have with me is when I'm going back 80 fucking years to 1945, 80 fucking years. And I am looking at what the compiled data that has been searched through by AI is saying that African Americans were 10 to 12 times higher than those of white Americans. And even in 1945, they were still committing like 50% of all the fucking homicides, which it was greater than that because in 1945, everything was segregated and nobody actually knew the real numbers. So now, here's my point. If all of these neocons and all of these blacks want to say the farther back you go, after slavery, let's just say after 1865, well into the 1900s, that the overwhelming majority of all of these black families had a father in the home. Okay. So how is it? And by the way, the reason why I did the questioning this way is we're looking at 1945, right here in 1945. In 1945, blacks were 10 to 12 times higher disproportionately represented than whites. As of today, in 2026, well, I guess looking at the data from last year, they're only 6 to 7 times higher. Stop and think about what I'm just saying here. If everybody's claiming that having a father in the home or being raised in an intact nuclear family, especially if you're black, it's going to reduce or mitigate the probability of you being engaged with the criminal justice system, well, I'm saying no. Actually, it's the complete opposite. Because 80 years ago, in 1945, the average criminal who was black that was being arrested for homicide was, let's just say, 20 years old, right? So if they're 20 years old and now they're being arrested for the crime of homicide, that would mean they were born in 1925. So again, you're going back 100 years. So 100 years, if the overwhelming majority of all black children were born into two-parent households 100 years ago, I don't give a shit if you're looking at 25, 45, 65, 85. You can pick the fucking decade du jour. I don't care. My point is the data shows again and again and again that they are always a multi-times fucking disproportionate representation of homicide and other kinds of fucking crimes. Therefore, it's fucking genetic. And this is the thing that they just won't fucking swallow. So I asked Google again. So if it's true that African Americans had more intact families with a father in the home, from 1940 to 1960, why were African Americans disproportionately represented in homicide for those decades? Google says high homicide rates among African Americans from 1940 to 1960s, despite higher rates of two-parent families, were primarily driven by extreme socioeconomic disadvantages. That doesn't even make any fucking sense. Extreme socioeconomic disadvantages. No. We're saying now that that is the reason why. Well, I should not we, but these fuck faces are saying that's the reason why, because there's no father in the home. Well, they're all claiming that there were fathers in the home. My question to Google was, if there were fathers in the home, then why were they still disproportionately represented? Oh, well, it's extreme socioeconomic disadvantages. Okay, so what about the Appalachian Mountains at this whole fucking time that we're talking about from 1940 to 1960s? It was still is some of the poorest fucking homeownership in the entire United States. Why are you not seeing the correlative amount of homicides? This is fucking retarded. It is lefty communism run a fucking muck. Residential segregation and a lack of protective legal interventions. Is that what's stopping it? Because they live in a fucking place now where they have these shot spotters. They've got police there all the fucking time. They've got security cameras. They've got Ring doorbell. They've got cell phones, and they're still fucking murdering each other at a disproportionate rate, 6 to 7 times in any other ethnic group in the United States. right? I could keep going with this over and over and over and over, but the whole point that I hope that I've made here is by explaining that this is fucking genetic. This is genetic. It's genetic. It's pure and simple. You cannot take an organism that evolved isolated unto itself for 300,000 years, living in an environment where they had to watch out for the savages that they are amongst each other, circumvent 100,000 years of evolution, drag them into modernity, plop them into our fucking culture and our society, and expect them to adapt. It's not going to happen. It is never, ever going to happen. And whatever excuse that they want to say why this is going on, it is not going to address, it is not going to fix. It is so far off the fucking, in some ways, these demented fucking white liberals are almost as fucking brain dead as they are by thinking that it's the statue that the fucking natives are dancing around that's causing them to kill each other. No, you can take the fucking statue away. The savages are going to kill each other, right? They're saying that the reason why this is happening because there's no fathers in the home. I'm saying that there are no fathers in the home because they evolved not to have fathers in the home. They are doing what they're genetically programmed to do. And the fact that they are hyper violent from the way that they evolved is the outcome of all of this. So the two things that they think can correct one another is by them being fathers in their homes of their community, and it will mitigate, if not completely reduce to a minimized point, of them being hyper violent and homicidal. Both of those fucking things are ridiculous if you don't understand the organism that you're talking about. I mean, this is fucking retarded. And this is never going to get better. I don't give a shit about the bureaucrats that want to sit there and jerk off thinking of these fucking excuses of why they are what they are. The reason why I'm making these videos is because at some point I want the average fucking, I mean, just slowest white person to start looking at these videos and these statistics and all of these reports of just hyper violent activity. And I want the fucking light to go on for them to say, holy shit, we've spent probably billions of dollars in resources trying to address this shit, and it doesn't work. It's never going to work. It never has worked. The reason why it's not going to work is because you're trying to get a fish to climb up a fucking tree. It is not going to work. It is not going to work. So that's pretty much all I had for this stream by trying to set it up to where Matt Walsh and this other black dude. And again, I thought the black dude was a cool guy. I like Andre Williams and Tommy Sotomayor, that he's always preaching about being a good father, his children. I'm not against it per se. I'm just saying that it's not going to change them as a collective, right? Jules Verne says, no prefrontal cortex makes my blood boil. Stop. Oh, slope heads. Slope heads. They stink too. Nigger be gone. Airships with decal Carnival cruises. They wouldn't know the difference between an airship and a water ship. I don't know. The airship might actually be a good angle to try to do. I don't know if you guys saw the stream I did where I was talking about remigration. I just released it as a video, which the joke's on me because Rumble demonetized my live streams. I don't even know if this is going to be monetized or not, but when it said it demonetized it, I said, fuck you. I deleted it off of Rumble and I reposted it again, thinking that it was going to monetize it. And Rumble said, fuck you. it demonetized that one as well. So anyway, I guess there's 20 something people in here. Well, I'm glad all you guys are hanging out. I hope I've been entertaining on your Saturday night, but I'm getting ready to log off because I got to take my dog for a run. Let her burn off some energy so I can get her to sleep tonight.
Niggers get the rope, let's start cleaning up our town. They're swinging from a rope, I don't mind them hanging round. Niggers get the rope, this is long overdue. Niggers get the rope, and that goes for she-bunts too. Niggers get the rope, we're gonna hang them high. So fuck off all you niggers, just fuck off and die. Niggers get the rope, we're gonna hang them high. So fuck off all you niggers, just fuck off and die. Niggers get the rope, let's start cleaning up our town. They're swinging from a rope, I don't mind them hanging round. Niggers get the rope, this is long overdue. Niggers get the rope, and that goes for she-bunts too. Niggers get the rope, we're gonna hang them high. So fuck off all you niggers, just fuck off and die. Niggers get the rope, we're gonna hang them high. So fuck off all you niggers, just fuck off and die. Niggers get the rope, we're gonna hang them high. So fuck off all you niggers, just fuck off and die. Niggers get the rope, we're gonna hang them high. So fuck off all you niggers, just fuck off and die. Niggers get the rope, we're gonna hang them high. So fuck off all you niggers, just fuck off and die. Niggers get the rope, we're gonna hang them high. So fuck off all you niggers, just fuck off and die.
Well, that was Wolf the Dog over on Rumble. We'll see how long that stays up on YouTube. I bet you they whack that down pretty fast, but we'll see. You never know. So we'll probably do another one of his after a while here. We'll see what happens. I don't know what's going to go on here today. Kind of looks like it's going to rain out, so I'm probably ain't going to get much done outside. So we might do another one. But we'll see you next time on the Podcast Patrol.